You're watching a special edition of News 3 at 6. I'm Jessica Larche, live at Richneck Elementary School in Newport News, where earlier today I could hear children laughing and playing in the playground right behind me. But it was a much different scene on a Friday afternoon 1 year ago, when a 6-year-old boy, a student here, opened fire on his first grade teacher, Abby Zwerner. Zwerner says she was just sitting at the reading table when the little boy used his mother's gun and shot her. Zwerner tells me fragments of the bullet remain in her hand and in her chest. And she tells me there are emotional scars you can't see. What happened to Abby Zwerner here at Richneck Elementary School opened up a national conversation about school security. Earlier today, my colleague Kelsey Jones walked us through what has changed here at Richneck and across Newport News Public Schools. You know, Kurt, I talked to Mr. Lloyd out here earlier today. He was picking up his twin granddaughters, and he told me that he is excited to see the expanded safety measures here at Richneck. I talked to another parent a few weeks ago who said they don't want their kids to feel like they're going to prison when they come to school. So there are still differing opinions on how to do this, but everyone can agree, Kurt, they just want their kids to feel safe when they come to school. Their teachers, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, every parent, every teacher, faculty member wants that kind of sense when they show up at school. But I was wondering, like, what was the mood like today as we lead into the anniversary tomorrow?
Well, Kurt, some parents were happy is the wrong word, but they understood why we were here. They wanted to continue that conversation about safety and make sure that people don't forget what happened here. But other parents, quite frankly, Kurt, they did not want to see us. They feel like their children have been through enough. They don't want to continue talking about it. So again, differing opinions on shining a light on what happened here, the balance of shining a light and allowing people to heal and move on. Again, Mr. Lloyd, who I talked to earlier, who his twin granddaughters are here, he said they did take advantage of the counselors and therapy that was here at the school. So everyone has their different way of processing what happened here at Richneck 1 year ago tomorrow.
All right, and we know that we have more coverage from you right after this break, and we are back right after this.
You're watching a special edition of News 3 at 6. I'm Jessica Larche, live at Richneck Elementary School in Newport News, where 1 year ago, a little boy opened fire on his first grade teacher, Abby Zwerner. She survived, but the trauma she endured and the other students in her classroom saw as well, that cannot be erased. And that is why many parents have filed lawsuits against Newport News Public Schools. My colleague Angela Bohan is walking us through that court paperwork. The mother of the little boy who shot the teacher, Deja Taylor, is serving time in prison in part because she lied on the application when she purchased that gun about her marijuana use. Investigative reporter Margaret Kavanaugh is taking a look at gun laws and marijuana. Our entire team of journalists here at News 3 has been committed to shining a light on what happened here at Richneck and what has unfolded in the aftermath. You can see our continuing coverage, our team coverage at WTKR.com, to include my extended interview with Abby Zwerner. Still to come tonight here on News 3 at 6. A final message from Abby Zwerner to her former students. That's still to come.
We now want to go back to my colleague, Jessica Larche, for a final time tonight ahead of the anniversary of the Richneck Elementary School shooting. Jessica?
Well, Kurt, when I talked to Abby Zwerner earlier this week, I asked her about her former students. She says she misses them. They talked about kindness a lot in her classroom. Here's her message to her former Richneck Elementary School students.
And I hope they've continued to be kind. That's something that we talked a lot about in our classroom, was kindness and, you know, how to treat a person with kindness.
Thanks for joining us for this special edition of News 3 at 6. Be kind and have a good night. Welcome to News 3 at 4. I'm Jessica Larche. Here at Town Point Park along the Elizabeth River, things are beautiful now, but things are about to change. We turn now to our first warning storm team of meteorologists with an update on what's to come. Turning our attention to the military watch this afternoon. Norfolk-based sailors were a part of a major strike against Houthi targets in Yemen, a mission made up of American and British forces. Fighter jets from the locally based USS Dwight D. Eisenhower and Tomahawk missiles from destroyers targeted multiple Houthi sites. News 3 reporter Coulter Anstead is speaking to the Secretary of the Navy about Norfolk's specific role in the mission. Turning our attention now to Portsmouth, where frustration over tolls at the Midtown and Downtown Tunnel have persisted for years. But now, Governor Glenn Youngkin says he's open to discussions about toll relief. News 3 reporter Angela Bohan explains. Welcome to News 3 at 4. I'm Jessica Larche, joining you from Naval Station, Norfolk. Families braved the frigid temperatures to reunite with their loved ones on the Ford earlier today. And those sailors made it home just in time to potentially see snow. Let's get to our first warning storm team of meteorologists with an update on what's to come. It is homecoming day for sailors aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford. News 3 reporter Coulter Anstead was here for those long-awaited reunions. A happy homecoming for families and for area businesses, too. They are hoping to see a big boost now that thousands more are back home. The sailors are part of what ODU economics professor Bob McNabb says is the multi-billion-dollar impact the Navy has on the Hampton Roads economy. He estimates the economic impact of the Navy ranges between $16 and $20 billion. More sailors back home means more sailors on the road, especially heading to base in the morning. But don't worry, News 3 has you covered. News 3 this morning anchor Blaine Stewart is also going in depth on a big military story. Locally based Navy sailors rushing to the rescue. Americans on a sailboat captured by Somali pirates. It happened nearly 13 years ago. And finally, we are hearing from the FBI mastermind involved in that response. Blaine has a story. Hopefully the families who reunited here today at Naval Station Norfolk are staying warm. And with that in mind, I'll join you back in the News 3 studios to bring you the other big stories of the day on the other side of the break. You're watching News 3 at 4. We're following through now on the investigation into a body found in a burning Portsmouth dumpster. Court records that I got a hold of earlier today reveal the person had several gunshot wounds. According to the records, the body had gunshot wounds to the head, back, and thigh. The autopsy referenced in the search warrant also revealed there were bullet fragments in the victim's foot. This all came to light on November 19th when calls to 911 revealed a fire in a dumpster outside of Bethel Worship Center on Pepperwood Court. Investigators say firefighters found a badly burned body after putting the fire out. Police are still working to identify the person killed and inform their family. Police are investigating this as a second-degree murder case.
4 days after it started, a fire continues to burn under a parking lot in Williamsburg.
You can see the images behind us. It really is remarkable. The hole it left just keeps getting bigger. And we are continuing to ask questions about what started this fire and when will it stop burning.
News 3 reporter Danielle Seda has the latest.
Welcome to News 3 at 4. I'm Jessica Larche, near the campus of Centera Norfolk General Hospital, where doctors are pleading with patients, even visitors here, to mask up. That's because they say there is a surge in respiratory illnesses in our community, talking about COVID, the flu, and RSV. In fact, they say this is such a big problem that the big area hospitals from the south side to the peninsula are teaming up to plead with patients and visitors to mask up. We turn now to a News 3 investigation where we've learned billions of dollars in money meant to help with COVID relief has been misused. The News 3 investigative team continues to dig into cases involving COVID relief fraud cases in Hampton Roads. The latest information from the Government Accountability Office estimates a total loss across all unemployment insurance programs during the pandemic to be between $100 and $135 billion. That's about 11 to 15% of the total unemployment insurance benefit paid out during the pandemic.
This was a government-wide fail, basically. At the federal level, Labor Department didn't have adequate oversight. The guidance was mixed, and then the states themselves had, control failures across the board. I don't think we can identify any particular state or states that did fraud risk management well. It was a matter of degree of how many did them really badly, some did it less badly, and so on.
They say we might never know the total amount of public money that was lost. Coming up tonight on News 3 at 6, investigative reporter Margaret Kavanaugh talks about why this happened and identifies recent local cases that investigators are pursuing charges. The opioid epidemic has no doubt sent people to area hospitals when they're in crisis. And now Dare and Currituck counties are looking at ways to spend opioid settlement money. News 3 reporter Samuel King explains. This Thursday afternoon marks another warmer one for us this week. And I have to say, it has been really nice enjoying this 70-degree weather in January. But that will not last long. We turn now to our first warning team of meteorologists for an update on when the colder air will move back in and our rain chances ahead. It has been nice enjoying this part of our broadcast outside on a warmer Thursday afternoon in January, but we are headed back to the News 3 studios just over my shoulder here in downtown Norfolk. The other big stories of the day after the break, you're watching News 3 at 4.